Sorum was born Matthew William Sorum on the 19th of November 1960 in an unincorporated area of Orange County, California that later became the city of Mission Viejo. He started to play drums after watching Ringo Starr with the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. Later he was mainly influenced by Ian Paice, Keith Moon, Neil Peart and others. At Mission Viejo High School, Sorum was part of the jazz band, marching band and wind ensemble. According to Sorum, he and his high school band Prophecy would play at the Starwood on amateur nights. Sorum's work with Chateau produced a 4-song set that was covered by local radio stations for a short time, but the music scene changed from grandiose rock to punk and alternative new wave music. Sorum left and went to Hollywood to play with a series of bands, including Population 5 with bassist Prescott Niles from the Knack and Hawk replacing Scott Travis, who went to play with Racer X and later Judas Priest. He then left on a tour around the country with a blues guitarist playing nightclubs and bars. In 1988, he was recruited to play on the debut album of Kant Tori Read, a band fronted by a then-unknown Tori Amos. In the wake of that project, he joined the Cult as their live drummer for the 1989 tour in support of Sonic Temple. In 1989, Slash saw Sorum live with the Cult on the Sonic Temple tour, and shortly after Sorum joined Guns N Roses as Steven Adler's replacement. Sorum with Guns N Roses can be heard on the 1990 cover of the Bob Dylan track Knockin' on Heaven's Door. The albums Use Your Illusion 1, Use Your Illusion 2, The Spaghetti Incident, the 1994 cover of the Rolling Stones track Sympathy for the Devil, and the majority of Live. Sorum featured fully on the lengthy Use Your Illusion tour, drumming on all of the 194 shows' 9 legs and to over 7 million fans. In 1994, Sorum formed Slash's Snakepit with Slash and Gilby Clarke, and drummed on their debut album It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. Sorum also lent his drumming skills to the theme song for the 1995 20th Century Fox film, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. That same year, Sorum formed the supergroup Neurotic Outsiders, which featured bandmate Duff McKagan. In 1996, they released their only album, the self-titled Neurotic Outsiders. John Taylor and Steve Jones also participated on this album, and toured behind it. Early performances featured guest spots by Simon Le Bon, Slash and Billy Idol. In 1997, Sorum was fired from Guns N Roses by Axl Rose after an argument with Rose over the inclusion of Paul Tobias in the band. Sorum claimed that Tobias made disparaging remarks about a Slash performance on TV, resulting in him blowing up at Tobias. Slash had recently left the band and Sorum told Axl without Slash there is no Guns N Roses, to which Rose asked if he was going to quit the band. Sorum said no, then Rose fired him. In April 2006, 9 years after leaving Guns N Roses, Sorum re-established his friendship with the band's lead singer Axl Rose. In 1998, he released his first and only drum instructional video, demonstrating his techniques. In 1999, Matt joined the Cult once again, and featured on their album Beyond Good and Evil, which he spent most of 2001 touring in support of. In 1999, Sorum reunited with Slash and McKagan to promote a concert for the independent film Soundman at the Slamdance Film Festival. Sorum had composed the film with Lanny Cordola and Michael Stearns. Realizing that they still had chemistry together, they formed a new band called Velvet Revolver with former Stone Temple Pilots frontman Scott Weiland and rhythm guitarist Dave Kushner. After the 2004 release of their debut album Contraband, they embarked on a worldwide tour that continued through December 2005. In August 2005, Sorum broke his wrist in a boating accident, stalling the tour temporarily. While recovering from the wrist injury, the drummer Brian Tichy and Mark Schulman filled in for him. In 2005, the band was nominated for 3 Grammys Rock Album of the Year, Rock Song and Hard Rock Performance for their Contraband single Slither, which won their first and only Grammy. After taking some time off in 2006, Sorum and the rest of the band returned to the studio in December to record Libertad, Velvet Revolver's second album, which was released on July 2007. Sorum toured with Velvet Revolver until singer Weiland parted ways with the band on April 2008. In 1994, Sorum was one of many guest drummers on the album Burning for Buddy, a tribute to the music of Buddy Rich. Playing with the Buddy Rich Big Band, Sorum was able to display his skill and finesse as a jazz drummer. Sorum released his first solo album Hollywood Zen in 2003. Available through his website, it was a musical statement about his life, touring, relationships. In the same year, Sorum began playing with the newly formed Camp Freddy. Sorum has endorsed Zildjian cymbals, featured in numerous sweepstakes with Zildjian, and lent his talents to Submersible Music's drum corps software. In 2006, Sorum began guest recording in his studio with a new project called Circus Diablo. That year he launched a clothing line, Sorum Noche. On June 2008, Sorum revealed Camp Freddy is working on an album. Sorum was featured in episode 54 of TV LA Inc., originally airing on August 2009. In it, Kat Von D tattoos a portrait of his wife Ace on his leg.